Welcome to another show of RaiderFan Radio.
What's up,
Vegas? Here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, we're here now tonight at show number 28.
Woo!
Can you believe we made it to 28?
Yes.
I mean, well, again, we always have to reset. We've been doing this for 20 years.
Right.
And we were the pioneers of internet radio for many years. For many years on the internets. The originators of RaiderFan and radio on the internet. And now we're doing it on YouTube. And we're glad to be here. And we're glad to even have this forum on YouTube.
Yes.
Where we can reach Turkey.
Right, Turkey.
Because from what I hear, we're big in Turkey.
That's right.
Yes, we are.
And we love Turkey.
A side of cranberry sauce. We're big in Turkey.
And now, like I say on every show, beginning of every show, RaiderFan, because we do get a lot of comments referring to the fact that we like to talk about the new Raiders. We talk about the old Raiders.
Yes.
Or the Raiders of glorious past. The winners of Super Bowl rings.
Yes.
So tonight on number show 28, and I always like to stump my main, I'd say, Raider, next to Raider Mort, Raider Rob is the ultimate Raider historian, Raider fan historian, the creator of Raider Nation.
That's right.
Number 28, who is the most notable, or some Raiders, who wore number 28?
Well, the most notable, of course, is the great architect of the Sea of Hands. Mr. Clarence Davis.
I cannot stump this guy.
Clarence Davis, of course, all-time greatest running back, and was along that line of Clem Daniels, and then we had Pete Banaszak, who played about the same time. But the Raiders always have had this spread of running backs in our history that are, 5'10", 5'11".
Oh, yeah. He was around. He was 5'10". 5'9.5" to be exact.
Back in the day, they called them scat backs. But Al made them halfbacks.
Run through him off the face.
Greg Pruitt played for us for a while, the great legend from the Cleveland Browns. We would get those similar type of running backs. Arthur Whittington, we talked about once on show 22.
Well, I remember Arthur Whittington.
Yeah, but
he's doing Rickies all the time.
But Clarence Davis has been involved in some of the great moments in Raider history through the great 70s and the bad boy era. But, of course, most notably, snatched the ball from Nick Bonacani and got who the defensive back was back then, Jake Scott, I think it was, in the famous Sea of Hand games,
yes.
AFC Championship, 1970.
Yeah, there was Raiderhead wrote a song called The Sea of Hands in tribute to the great game. And that was the very last line, with defenders all around. They fell to the ground. Clarence Davis with the ball for a touchdown, Raiders.
Right.
And that's, of course, how they won the game. And, of course, they went on to win the great Super Bowl 11, as you said, against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, that would be a couple years later, but Clarence Davis
was in that game.
Yeah. And then for those in L.A., we never forget our folks in L.A., particularly you original L.A. Muds, player that you guys will remember.
Real quick, in tribute to L.A., because, yes, we do have a lot of Raider fans from L.A., tonight I wore my Body Count t-shirt from L.A. This was given to me as a gift from one of our listeners, Gonzo, who's a Chiefs fan.
Nice!
And we'll be talking about the Chiefs tonight, too.
Yeah.
But he's a Chiefs fan, but he loves RaiderFan Radio, and he loves us.
And we love him.
And I love Body Count. Body Count in the house.
Ice-T, man. Yeah, that was...
So you're going to go on to name... Who are you going to name?
Go ahead. You got somebody?
Yeah, I got somebody.
Go ahead. Who you got at 28?
I got Randy Jordan.
Randy Jordan. Yes.
I strongly remember him in my past.
Well, you just, not you, who was it, Silver Black that did the production for the show on RaiderFan Radio on YouTube?
Yes.
Is that who puts up our videos?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Silver Black just put up the full Raider Nation movie from 2003.
Right.
That starred, of course, the three of us and RaiderFan Radio was on that movie.
The other Raider fans,
and as a matter of fact, we interviewed Dave Newhouse on that particular show.
Our early origins, proof, timestamp. That was before all you motherfuckers.
A lot of Black Hole Robert,
imitators.
A lot of Black Hole Rob Rivera was on that
movie
as well. So for all of you watching right now, go see right here. We're on YouTube, right? Go to the next video over. Is it this way?
Yeah.
And you'll see the full Raider Nation movie from 2003. But you digress.
I digress.
Randy Jordan.
Yes, Randy Jordan, who appeared in Super Bowl 37, but 3 straight AFC titles. He was with those teams. He was with those champions teams. And I cannot forget, and I know you won't forget, Amos Zeroaway.
Amos Zeroaway. Somebody's been looking at the internet today, haven't they?
No, you got to look that up. You remember Zeroaway? Fucking shoes were always coming off, slipping and sliding every fucking where, spinning around.
And of course now, the number 28 that we all know and we love is Josh Jacobs, number 28 out of
He's
Alabama.
not a legend yet.
No, he's not a legend,
Not
but
a
he's
legend
a notable Raider.
And I hope,
because he's playing for the Raiders now.
and in all seriousness, I hope you have learned from the lessons of your 2 teammates. One that just got released and one that's in a world of trouble that we'll be talking about a little later on. Okay, you were the first one for the players to get caught speeding. Okay, around there by that airport. All right, slow your ass down. You know, all of y'all. Take a cue from what's going on out here and what's happened to your fellow teammates. You know, enjoy living here. Don't race life. You know, 28 for my folks in Los Angeles. You remember when it seemed like there for about 5 years between 1987 and 92, Al was collecting all the big name running backs that were coming out of college. Whether it was Nick Bell out of Iowa, Vance Mueller, if you guys remember him. Of course, Bo Jackson. Yes. We had Marcus Allen. One of the guys that I remember who was a Bell was Greg Bell.
Greg Bell.
Was Notre Dame, a big punishing back. And at the same time, we had Nick Bell. Napoleon McCallum, I think, was on his way back from his duty with the Navy to play with us, or he might have got drafted a year. Anyway, Al went on this run where he was just having all the top running backs, or at least the top, the top ranked running backs in the league, or that were coming out of college, seemed to be on the Raiders. And Greg Bell was one of them, award number 28 for our LA contingent down there. So yeah, Greg Bell, he was the man. Anyway,
speaking of Al Davis, we are also remembering Al Davis because, of course, a lot of has happened this past couple of weeks, this month. October was a very bad month for the Raiders. Let's just be real about that. And we're going to be talking a lot about that, tease a lot of things we're going to be talking about tonight because there's too much that went down. Too much. I can't take it. I cannot take it. My head is spinning and my stomach is turning.
Yeah.
It's too much. But we are going to remember Al Davis because it was 10 years ago that King Al died. I remember that day very well. I was driving across Arizona to Las Vegas playing with the band Missing Persons with Del Bozio. And I was in the minivan driving across the states, and that's when I heard the news that Al died. And of course, the next day after that was the game that they won in Houston, Texas, against the Texans. The only game that Jason Campbell ever had that was noteworthy, unfortunately. But it was a very emotional day. Of course, Coach Hugh Jackson cried in the locker room at the end of the day. There was a lot going on, obviously, but they did win the game. And great. Was it Darius Hayward Bay that made that big catch at the end?
Yeah,
I forgot.
I think it was.
Yeah. So anyways, we remember Al Davis. Huge influence, I know, on me personally and everybody here in this room and studio and across the world that's watching this YouTube right now. Al Davis he's literally one of the great names in the history of pro football.
Yes.
Yeah. He has this what do you call it? The reputation of the Maverick. But to me, he just didn't take shit. And he just went out and played got the best players to play the best football and to be he was the most fairest, the most coolest. And when it came to the fight with the NFL, which to this day, we'll be talking about that in the comments a lot today too, because everybody out there knows all about it. The long feud with the NFL. Raider Rob, you, right after Gruden was, we'll call it whatever we want, Gruden Gate, he was released, he was forced into being resigned. But again, that's on our YouTube channel as well, where you went in front of the Raiders headquarters and did a very long, very heartfelt diatribe on your feelings on that and the history of the NFL with Al Davis and the feud, of course.
Yeah, the bottom line with remembering Al Davis is that he was a visionary, and he's the man that established the identity of this team, which needs to still be its preeminent identity. It's not that Mark Davis has to assume the role of his father. He could never do that. But he needs to grasp and understand the politics in the NFL and how his father was able to balance football operations. This is one man, along with a front office staff of no more than 20 people back in the day, okay, including Allo Casal, Ron Wolf, and what have you. Could balance the politics and manage the politics that the Raiders had to deal with the NFL and the AFL as a whole after the merger, and the Raiders being a favorite team because it helped in this villainous counterpart to the NFL, which was the established, white bread vanilla league, and and all that. So we made a lot of money for this league, like I said, in that regard. And Al knew how to balance that, the identity of the team, the marketing of the team, with the NFL and all the bullshit that they were trying to do to the team, as well as balance the public relations of the team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
he had a strong public relations presence and team during those years.
Right.
And also the administrative staffs that supported him, not only were football people that understood football and the business of football, but also how to interact with the public.
He was the face of the organization, though, without taking away from the team.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what we got into when we first, us, the fan base in Oakland, helped promote the Chucky identity. Chucky became the embodiment of the fan base. And that representation, while you still had Al being the embodiment of the team. Right. And it worked for a minute there. And so along with what has happened over the last few weeks, that has particularly troubled Stone, and he's going to, I want him to punctuate the whole Gruden thing when we get to that. But, Al, I think might have, there might have been something there a little deeper than we all were led to believe back when we had to split the trade, Gruden to Tampa Bay. But the bottom line is, yes, remember ALDAVIS 10 years after his passing, and like, subscribe, make sure you comment, RaiderFanRadio@gmail. Give us your memories of Al Davis, and some of you are young, new generation Raider fans, and you don't remember Al. Study him, NFL films, all of that. He's mentioned in the documentary Raider Nation that's running now. But yes, the main thing is that Al would be in front of all this controversy,
right?
And that's what I miss so much in this time when our team and our image and our identity is taking such a beating, yet the team is playing moderately well. We need somebody to be out front of all of this PR and public opinion shit that's going on against us.
When we were in the early stages or the early years of Raider Fan Radio Stef,
as wrong as Rub's ass is.
In the early stages of Raider Fan Radio Stef, when you and I would go with our credentials to all the press conferences.
Yes.
Back when you could just go to a press conference if you were pressed before all
without
the new,
being vaccinated.
Yeah, with all the new protocols going on. We probably, over about a 10-year period, I would say, we pretty much, every single time Al Davis did a press conference, we would both just drop everything.
Yes.
Because we knew that day, if we went and sat in the room with Al Davis and looked him in the eye, and many times, I will tell you this, and sometimes next to Rob, Steph, we would always be right in the middle of the room, just like we are now. You would be, here's Al Davis, and we would go to Al, and we would go, and just listen to Al. And Al would look at us right in the eye while he was talking to the NFL Network and ESPN. He's talking to the world, doing his press conference. Al Davis would notice us right in the middle of the room and stare right at us because he knew, even though we were in the room with all this controversial press and these rumor mongers, we were the fans and did our own media, and we represented him.
Our tagline for Raider Fan Radio back then was Pro Raider Radio.
That's right.
He knew that we were had his back.
We were fucking homers.
And he was talking right to us.
And we didn't, excuse it, if you ever get to see the uncut version of the famous slideshow press conference.
The overhead projector.
Right.
The Lance Kiffin file.
Lance Kiffin.
If you ever get to see the uncut version, which is somewhere on YouTube, you'll see us, the stuff that's proceeding before they go into the press conference and he comes out. You'll see us walk in and see our heads go sit in the seats because we were right directly in front of him at that famous.
And Al Davis knew everybody in the room.
Oh, yeah.
He knew every single reporter. He knew their names. He knew who they were with. So we knew that if we were in the room and we were that close to Al, and he was looking at us right in the eye, we knew that we were getting a direct message straight from the source.
Al, because he was specific about communicating with us, and he did let us know that he listened to our show. And that was just because Rob would always refer to Al. and say goodbye to him at the end of the show, and be like, he's in his silver slippers and silk pajamas
Silk
somewhere
pajamas, man, up at the house.
We have confirmation of that. But the beautiful thing is him wanting us to be there. He knew we were Pro Raider Radio. He knew we were professional press, but we were also fans, and we were the first to do that.
But again, like Al Davis, back to
League.
Visionary, he was recognizing this internet thing.
Right.
Y'all got to understand, people really didn't understand internet and where it was going, particularly with disseminating media,
right.
and particularly independent media, because it was fair play,
right.
because we were introducing this new media at the time, and everybody was trying to figure it out, and it was a curiosity thing. They weren't giving us any love, really, and any respect, so to speak, but they were curious.
Yeah.
And we bought a curiosity, because look at us, imagine 20 years ago, and
watch the movie Raider Nation. You can see us 20 years ago.
And like they said, Stone and stuff, they drive up to Napa, what have you. They were at all the recognizable or all the key events.
If Al Davis, we knew Al Davis was going to be there, which he was, like you said, referring to Mark Davis. Al Davis was at. If there was an event that happened that it was about the Raiders, anything Raider, Al Davis made sure the very next day, the whole day was revolved around his response and what he had to say about it, to straighten everybody out. So let him know at least where he was coming from.
Right.
Controlling the narrative was really important, and that's what we were saying about Mark Davis at the beginning of the season and throughout the 28 shows is you've got to be able to represent the team effectively like your father did. And your saddling up to the NFL is nothing different than what Amy Trask and Mark Bedane did. They're both gone, and we can't necessarily get rid of you at this time. But dude, you've got to step up and represent this fan base, this city now, and these fans, and you've got to make sure that you represent the Raiders and get quality people, on your side, not kiss people and not people that you're just letting, run things for you.
That's not a knock at Will Kiss, is it?
Not a knock at Will Kiss. He's still inside. What's up, Will?
You meant kiss ass people.
Right. No,
anyway, RaiderFan Radio here on YouTube, the world's #1 video TV network. Hit us at RaiderFanRadio@gmail. And let us know, because as I understand, when we get the comments tonight, it's a little hot. And so the one thing I'm most proud of is that out there in the Raider Nation, you guys are very much in tune with what's been happening the last month. I'm sure you're very opinionated, and you've got your comments and your opinions about what has happened. And I know they're strong, and I know they're on point, because the one thing about the Raider Nation, no matter what generation it is, we are very much in tune with what goes on in our world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and so, I look forward to seeing what the people have to say, how they respond. Yeah, man.
Tonight's show, we do have some dedications. We're going to save our main dedication tonight, because that's significant. We want to spend the time with it. We're going to end the show with a long dedication. But some things happened today, this weekend in Texas as well, Rob.
Yeah, man. We want to send condolences down to just the people down there that have lost their lives. 8 killed, many injured, and just just a real uncomfortable and just a tragic situation for the new millennial generation. It seems like every generation has to go through, I don't know what you call it, just this kind of recognition of the dangers of gathering, particularly for concerts. And you go back to Altamont, famous concert in 1969 with the Rolling Stones that ended tragically and just was a very, wild scene. You can watch that on YouTube to yourself. All the way to 1977 when the great band The Who played a concert in Cincinnati and a bunch of people stampeded.
Oh, yeah. Someone died and got trampled.
13 people were killed when they stampeded
So apparently this is nothing new.
Riverfront Coliseum.
Yeah, this is something that, you get a bunch of people together in a concert situation where everyone's having what they would consider a good time, letting loose, drinking, doing drugs, whatever you do. You get all those people together, and it turns into a frenzy.
Well, it's a sad, like I couldn't finish my point. It's a sad coming of age that it seems like every generation has to go through. And so Travis Scott, young hip-hop artist who I don't know anything about other than I've been seeing him in the news, that I read sometimes, dating one of the Kardashians or
the
Jenners
witches.
or the witches of Beverly Hills.
The
Yeah.
witches of
but it's a sad tragedy, especially in this age of social media and all that. It was great that all the information could get out and all that and what have you. But one of the nuances as we move on from it is that there's a lot of videos showing these young people trying to get the adults in the room, so to speak, people up on the prop towers and the soundboard and all that, to react to these people being crushed down below on the floor of the stadium, at the concert. And even the artist himself up on a riser saw what was going on and did stop the show for a minute to help one person. But, it's just, again, another example of you've got to be, number one, aware of your surroundings. And number two, with these events and concerts, you got to be alert all the time.
Right.
And number three, people have to be cognizant of when someone has climbed up a tower to pull your jeans and tell you that, hey, people are dying below, you need to listen.
You need to shut it down.
Yeah, you need to shut it down.
I've seen been in many concerts where it did get out of hand, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
I've talked about the famous one with Metallica at the LA Coliseum that I went to, where literally 100,000 fans from the top of the Coliseum all the way to the field just swarmed down. It was the most incredible vision I've ever seen. And I went with them. I was at the top of the Coliseum, and we were wasted. Everybody was, 100,000 fans. And Metallica comes out with their first chords on Creeping Death. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And everybody just swarmed down onto the field, and it turned into this huge mosh pit. And literally, and when I say huge mosh pit, the people were getting trampled. Chairs, fences, they were just ripping them out of the ground and throwing them at the security.
Wow.
Oh, it was incredible. And after that song didn't even end, and someone pulled the plug. And someone from Metallica went onto the stage, sat down, had everybody just quiet down, and say, "Okay, everybody, relax. This is now general admission. We're gonna have a concert here. Please don't kill each other." Something to that effect. Trying to at least say something to notice this was out of hand. Something bad was going to happen. So yes, these things do happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just want to recognize it because I've been a concert goer since I was the age of 13, 14 years old, man, and I've been in festival seating shows. I've been in some tense situations in concerts from behind the scenes and in front, So anyway, just our condolences.
27 were the people that ended up dying at that concert in Texas. So that's very
condolences to all you folks in Texas, man.
And in Oakland, they used to not allow hip-hop shows at a certain point because they would insure them. So a lot of bands couldn't get, or groups couldn't get insurance.
But hip-hop is pop music now.
Right. This is going back, because they weren't going to have it.
Pop music now.
Yeah. So it's a different time.
Well, we got a lot going on tonight at RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, but to start it off, this portion of RaiderFan Radio.Vegas and RaiderFan Radio on YouTube was brought to you by the new Stonerdude coloring book.
Yes. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. The news. Thank you, Steph. The new Stonerdude coloring book is now out online. It is dude, let's talk about the book a little bit. It's nice quality new coloring book, thick bond paper,
glossy cover,
one-sided pages, so your colors don't just bleed through. The art, of course, is incredible. I would say this is probably the best coloring book of all time, if I do say so myself. Stonerdude coloring book, you can get it. I just released it. It's a dream come true, and you can get it at StonerDudeArt.com. Buy my coloring book.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like
to thank Rob and Steph here. They did purchase their online.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I'm about to get busy.
They're starting to buy pencils. Here's the beautiful thing about the coloring book, most of all, is that a lot of fans out there have been buying the book.
Yes.
They have been coloring pages. They have been sending them to me, of course.
Right.
So I'm seeing all kinds of awesome coloring out there in the world. And if you go to StonerDudeArt.com, you could see that art as well. I started a gallery, Stonerdude.com. You can see a coloring book gallery of all the great colorists. And I look forward to seeing all of yours.
Yes.
Colorists.
Always so easy to do, too. I mean, when you do log on. And if you need more information about access and getting that coloring book, always look at the description of the Raider Fan Radio show. So in Raider Fan Radio show number 27 and 28, down in the description, you'll find the link to where you can get the
Would that be link to go to Stonerdude.com?
Color your asses off, baby. It's Coloring Book Nation.
You know,
that's what's up.
It's not just the Raiders that are happening in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, a.k.a. the Death Star.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of concerts. Matter of fact, I just talked about Metallica. Metallica is coming. Yes, Metallica is coming
February.
to Las Vegas with Billy Joel as well, back-to-back nights. But Raider Rob and Steph.
Yes.
This last weekend was the Rolling Stones, arguably the greatest band of all time.
Arguably.
They're up there with the Beatles and some of the greats of Led Zeppelin.
He said they're up there with the Beatles.
There's no
That's
more.
my argument.
There's no more.
But the point being is that you, Raider Rob, I mean, come on, this is like the biggest concert event probably of this decade for Las Vegas, especially with the new stadium.
Yes.
Is this your first time at Allegiant Stadium inside?
It was the first time in Allegiant Stadium. I want to say thank you first to Las Vegas local personality here named Jimmy Vegas.
Baby.
Yes, Jimmy Vegas baby.
Yes.
Okay, and shout out to him, and shout out to Young James, and also to Jenny from Bozeman, Montana, who were part of the entourage. And I got to say what's up to Papa Norm, and who else was with us? Of course, Rowan was with us, and Young Kim. Anyway,
how did you get into the concert?
Part of the entourage.
It just happened.
Part of the entourage of Jimmy Vegas, like I said, a local personality here in Las Vegas, and he invited us to come out, and so yeah, we went, loaded up in the big Lexus.
Did he hook you up?
Truck, yes, hooked us
Oh,
up.
he hooked you up.
Yeah, there was a lot of hooking up. There was more hooking up later in the night when we got into the show. But anyway, number one, the stadium's beautiful. I will give it that. My quick review of the stadium. It's beautiful. It is very cavernous.
Cavernous? Cavernous.
Yes, very cavernous. The hallways and the corridors.
Like a big Raider cave.
Yeah, kind of remind me of the Oakland Coliseum a little bit. How it's right alongside the window on the outside, like the Coliseum was, and you can walk around the whole facility.
Can you go around the whole circumference?
Yeah, you can go around the whole circumference.
I've done that a million times at the Coliseum.
Beautiful, let's call them luxury boxes and whatever. The sight lines are great.
Yeah.
And the one disappointment though is there's a Randy Moss plaque.
Right.
What?
Yes.
Inside the stadium. Along with a lot of other great luminaries of
Randy
the Raiders.
Moss does not deserve a plaque.
Does not, thank you.
Should not
does
be
not
on our
deserve
wall,
a
dude.
fucking plaque.
Randy Moss loafed. He literally loafed.
Stealing paychecks. Like he's stealing one now on ESPN because he doesn't know shit.
I was at the exact game. I was in the black hole.
When that happened, yeah.
Terry Collins threw a ball to Randy Moss. One of the rare ones he threw right into his chest in a slant right in the middle of the field. And he literally went.
And let it fall.
He didn't even try. He didn't even pretend.
Man, he was lazy.
He didn't even pretend
He
that
was lazy in routes. You sit there and watch him in routes where the ball wasn't
wanted
coming to
out.
him. Right. He would not run his routes all the way through to at least make the play look believable or give some, impetus to the defense that he was involved. And he was a cocksucker.
He didn't even give a fuck what anybody thought about it.
I was at his press conference too.
We got mossed. We got mossed.
Right.
Okay, as fans of the Raiders, we got mossed when that motherfucker joined us. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
I was at his press conference when he signed with the Raiders.
I was there with you.
You were there with me.
I'm just gonna win, baby.
Right.
I'm committed to excellence. Smile.
He was committed to nothing.
ALDAVIS can't sign everybody.
Right.
Can't sign everybody.
Right.
You got me.
But on to the Stones, because that's far more important. But just note to Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Get that picture out.
Yeah, that plaque needs to go. But you got one up with Leo Araguz or something, too?
Right. I saw the
No offense, Leo.
Stanford route. I saw the torch, the fake torch.
The
that
fake
you have
fire,
there.
as
Right,
you say.
fake fire.
You dubbed it that, right?
I did.
The
I
fake
dubbed it
fire.
Fake fire.
Yeah, the picture
you know.
pop up here.
And it was the cool thing about it is at the bottom, all the way around it is a bar.
A bar, yeah.
That was
And
fat.
it's lit up. It's hella fat.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
You'll see the picture up here in a moment.
There's a bar.
Yeah, there's a bar around it.
Surrounds
Wow.
I don't know if that shows up on TV or not. Does it
I've
seem
never
like
seen
it? Yeah.
it because it's down low in the lower bowl, and they tend to show, it starts to show it. I think it goes from the lower bowl all the way up to the third deck, so it's huge. It's not like the torch that was in Oakland.
The acoustics are not too good, and not like the Coliseum, even indoor or outdoor, or some other arenas I've been in for concerts.
Got in
Madison Square
without a
Garden.
shot.
But it's a nice place. It's really big. It's really modern. And the Stones threw down. I got a new
Mick
lease
Jagger.
on life watching Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's undisputed now. Mick Jagger.
You know what? I got to already interject by saying, you know what? You're right. I saw video of the concert where Mick Jagger is running up and down that catwalk.
Just get ready to talk about that.
Yeah.
This man.
He's 79 years old.
This man in the middle of Start Me Up, which they did in the middle of the set, took off at one point in a dead sprint
Yes, he just went
for about 60 yards
Okay.
at 78 years
Yeah.
old.
And grabbed the mic and kept singing afterwards.
I gotta get my life together. And I suggest you get yours together. I'm about to get back walking, stretching, and getting back to doing yoga because fucking Mick
Do the
Jagger
yoga, dude.
almost shamed me, okay? And he should shame all of you. I see you out there.
And he does it all. How long did they play? What was there? How long was the
2
set?
hours and 15 minutes about.
Damn.
2 encores,
Non-stop.
and they did all the hits. They were in great form. They sounded great.
They did. They really did.
Keith, I love Keith Richards. One of the first rock icons that I kind of was attracted to when I was getting into rock music as a young kid. I personally hope this is the last.
Do you think he's next? You
No,
think
it's not.
gonna
Come on,
happen?
I'm not doing that. Come on.
I'm just asking.
He's
He next?
tired.
Body count.
Keith Richards is tired. Keith Richards is tired, and it shows.
Right.
It shows, and he's still.
That's why they surround him with so many great players.
But I know. I was telling the guy at the store today, and he said it was reminiscent of the cauliflower ear that boxers or football players get. He's got that permanent, something like Eddie Van Halen, and they said that his hands have gotten so permanent on his left hand of him, on the neck so much that it's kind of like his hand was formed that way.
Right.
Keith has gotten that. You can see it with his hand here, that it's just a pick. His hand is formed to hold a pick.
Damn.
And it's gotten kind of, you bloated, you saw,
Yeah.
I hope it's the last. I think you guys should, go on and shut it down.
I heard controversy? You could verify. Did they or did they not play Brown Sugar?
They did play Brown Sugar.
They did play. No, they didn't
They
play
did.
Brown Sugar. No, they did. That was
They
Jumper Jack Flash. It kind of
Okay.
sounds similar.
All right.
No, they didn't play Brown
I
Sugar.
heard a lot of controversy because of this new woke generation
I
or
wish I
whatever.
could cancel
Cancel
you
culture. That the Rolling
I tell them
Stones
to
didn't
fuck
play
off.
Brown Sugar, and that's why they didn't play it.
That's just that simple-minded stuff. You can't get rid of history, and that song speaks of history.
Brown Sugar.
And it's
How
just
come you taste
fresh.
so good?
And this social reversal of acting like you, the establishment powers to be, and what have you,
You're
give
so
a fuck.
caring,
You're so
suddenly.
caring. All these many years later, let's just cut to the chase.
Nobody cares. I
There
learned that
should-
from Gary Ratnick.
Nobody
cares.
There shouldn't have been slavery to begin with. So there you go. All right.
Okay, so
I
they-
grew up in the era of that song. I learned early what the lyrics were about, and let me tell you something. Black people were more appreciative of the gesture of that song being told in the story, in the message in the song, than they were offended by it. And that's 40-something years ago. So how the fuck are you
We
offended?
learn our history through music and musicians.
So how are you
Arts.
offended? So how are you offended 40 years ago for us?
Right.
40 years later for us. Fuck off with that shit.
But other than that, I thought it was magnificent because I'd never seen the Stones before. Rob's been many times. You've been.
I've
many
never
times.
seen the
You've
Stones.
never seen the Stones?
No, I was there. I was living vicariously. I'm doing it right now.
This was it was amazing. I wish Charlie Watts was there. You know, we did the tribute after.
Still doing
Oh, yeah. Charlie Watts is now died, so obviously he's not in the band. So, yeah. It must have been
Steve Jordan has played with Michael Jackson and a lot of other bands.
That's who played drums?
Quincy Jones, who played drums.
Nice.
Because he held it down. Go ahead, Senator. Yeah.
Just a great experience for me. Like I said, getting in the stadium anyway.
Without a shot. You weren't vaccinated.
I was not.
We got it anyway, bitches!
Yeah,
But you can't go to a Raider game.
Who wants to? They're 5 and 3.
Yeah, more to discuss on that.
We got a whole show to go. We better get cracking because we got a lot to talk about.
But it was great to go again. Thanks again to Jimmy Vegas. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And it was a great time. You get a chance to come to Vegas.
We got down front too.
Go see the stage. Yeah, later on, you know, I made my old Oakland moves. Hooked up with one of the cats that was running the hallway and the stairs, and he moved mugs down.
Yeah.
Jimmy Vegas, he was by himself walking through this. We didn't even know. I had texted him, telling him, "Hey, we down here near the side of the stage. Come on down." But there was no service in there for me because I didn't want to link up to their whole thing. And so anyway, he comes walking by himself down the stairs. It's like, "Jimmy Vegas, what's up?" And so he ended up sitting with us. We called the rest of the people down. So it was great. And the guy moved us down closer. So just that true cool-ass concert experience, where everything
Didn't like
goes.
the cashless shit. That was
Yeah, fuck that cashless shit,
Couldn't
man.
give out tips and all that. That's
Oh, yeah, I bet people hate workers. It's hard to find good workers in the first place.
Right.
And the people that do get
the people were cool, though. The workers were cool.
I'm just saying, we talk about chips.
Yeah, exactly.
People survive.
And I saw people wanting
You're
to.
taking that cashless society, taking that aspect out of the picture.
Right.
At Evil Pie, where the pizza place
You don't want to pay people what they're worth.
Evil Pie, a couple of little kiosks for drinks, all that. People were reaching in their pocket to give them, but they kept insisting you do it on the
And I don't know if you'll get it.
We tried to tip the beer guy.
Right.
And he just insisted.
It's too much of a hassle.
And I had cash in my hand.
Give a guy a fucking few bucks.
He wouldn't take it. I had cash in my hand.
Oh, he wouldn't even take it?
He insisted that it be on. He couldn't take it.
Yeah, but that's because of the system.
Right, exactly.
He wanted it.
Right.
But they wouldn't let him because of the system. He couldn't take it.
And that's not in a high roller city.
Yeah.
You know how many high roller and glamour chicks were walking around that motherfucker,
They're taking that aspect out of their
$3,000 heels and shit.
Yeah, that's
guys in fucking $5,000 suits. They wanted to.
Throwing out hundreds.
Exactly.
And they couldn't take it.
Man, change your fucking market, your fucking model for how y'all running that.
Because they're greedy. They want it all to go on the card.
Well, right now, T-Mobile,
taking it out of your pocket.
They want you to pay to use your own money. So T-Mobile is like blowing you guys out of the water, in terms of, that stadium. It's a great stadium too. Cozy, spaces where you can go out and smoke. That is not at the
we don't advise that though. Anyway.
I do.
At Legion. No.
Speaking
of the Legion, speaking of the Raiders.
Of our Legion, speaking of somebody that needs a T-Mobile.
This is RaiderFan Radio.
Speaking of somebody that needs a T-Mobile connection.
Raider Rob.
Okay, Derek Carr needs a T-Mobile connection. Okay, I'm not letting you motherfuckers get away with it. All right, I laid off for 4 games. I'm back. I'm back, damn it. All right, this is Carr-Diculous that this motherfucker continues to
Are you saying that once again he might have re-got Carmen?
Yeah, he's got it.
The touchdown pass that he blew to Waller in the back of the end zone, that puts us up 7 throughout the game. And then the one that he fucking laid down on when he ran for that damn fucking first down from the 3-yard line, okay, and then fucking slid when he could have made it to the end zone. He didn't sell out his body for that touchdown that would have put us up 14, okay? That is what I am talking about for all you caraholics, okay? Kiss his ass, love him all you want to, dominus ominous, okay? But fuck that guy, all right? Straight up, all right?
I mean, the sliding before the
if he has a good game against the Chiefs.
I'm done.
Wait a minute.
I'm back to being done again.
Are you sure?
Yes!
I don't know about this.
No.
I see you ping pong.
I wanted him to get his stock up for a particular reason, okay? And he was doing that. All right?
Last week you liked
I
him.
didn't want to shoot down all you guys' optimism because he was playing good.
Yeah,
but
that's
again,
right.
in statement
You're
games,
saying this for them.
He was
You're
a
saying nice
surrogate.
things for you.
in statement games like this, games of urgency, and games that you need to win and should win against inferior teams, this is where he most shows his ass, and this is when you're in that happy, sad bag with him.
Right.
And you end up sad at the end of the day. Okay? If you can't beat the Giants in November, you can't beat Buffalo in January.
That's right. And I think that was a commenter, too, back in our comments. They backed that up. They were like, Stone, that's cool that they won
He's
now.
infuriating!
But what about, like...
Well, that's what I said.
game?
8 years in the league, you don't miss that pass the wall. I'm sorry.
No.
That's it, man. You've got to hit that
2
pass.
weeks ago, he played like a surgeon. He did not play like that yesterday at all. He was a different guy. He had Carr.
This is on him. This is on the play calling in the red zone of Richie, Basikia or Basiachi, okay, and Greg Olsen's ass. Okay, and whatever combination of shit y'all are doing, we have got to get vertical, man. Trust Renfro, okay? Trust
Do
Edwards.
it anyway.
These guys, thank you. That's what I was saying to somebody I was texting with. Do it anyway. Stop with this limited bullshit.
It has to be part of the game plan, so that you stretch the field.
Right.
That was we talked about ALDAVIS the whole beginning of the show.
Particularly with the weapons that we have. This is the same thing on the defensive side.
It's like having the ball and just willing to throw it.
This is the same argument on the other side of the bill with Gus Bradley. You know, we have got athleticism on our defensive side of the ball, man. From Crosby through the African, Ngakwe, okay, the interior D-line, Stone. I'm sure you're impressed with the DTs, how they're playing Phelan.
They're not star, they're not
Thomas,
Pro Bowl, but they're enthusiastic in their presence.
Yes, and to take a word from Raider Homer, they're serviceable. These guys are serviceable and committed. Derek Denzel Perryman, like I told y'all 5 weeks ago, 5 shows ago, my boy from the University of Miami was going to take that middle linebacker spot. He has been an anchor. You've got to turn those type of athletes. This boy's guy, Nate Hobbs. People like that. Mooring. These young kids with all this athleticism, man, they seem disciplined. The defense has been playing great. You got to turn them loose, man.
That's right.
You got to blitz more than 3 times a game. You got to stop being stubborn. With all that athleticism that we have on the defense, we're missing opportunities to really shut down games or change games or really have a defensive dominant presence. With you limiting the blitzing, Gus. Okay, you've got to change that philosophy. In season adjustments, as Sugar White Mike would say.
What are you talking about?
Black Hole Step.
I don't blitz. And the Raiders, the commentators like the Raiders are known for not blitzing that much.
We should not be known for that.
What are you talking about?
What team's known for that?
Yeah, us. Every time we have the talent and we have the ability, it's the coaching or something it's the coaching and coordination that's holding it back.
Yeah, it's like Smokey said. It's like Smokey said on Friday. You two to Craig. Y'all ain't never got 2 things that go together. You know what I'm saying? You got bacon, no eggs. You got
peanut butter, no jelly.
You got cereal, no milk. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this for 20-something years with the Raiders, all the way back to Oakland. We'll have a good defensive coordinator like a Rob Ryan. A get after a defensive coordinator who's preaching blitzing, who's preaching shutdown on defense and man-to-man. But yet then we got? Aaron Brooks or some clown over there at quarterback. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like our shit never matches up at the same time. Right. We got to get an aggressive-minded, physically present, a defensive coordinator with a physical philosophy to go out and smack motherfuckers in the mouth. Okay, as a thing, as the motherfucking
what we do
template of your defense. And offensively, we got to get more vertical, got to stretch the field, man, and just mix it up more. And these guys may not be world class in name, but you signed them. They're football athletes. They're professional athletes. If you tell them and you design a play for them to go deep, they'll go fucking deep.
Right. They want to. They'll do whatever it takes to win. That's why sliding, in the red zone and not going for the touchdown makes completely no sense unless you're trying to hold back the success. Here we are again. Are we on that downward spiral like we are and have been the last 6 seasons.
Here we
Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, many other quarterbacks, even some of the younger ones would go for that touchdown, like you said.
So I'm about to give you an example of the margin here.
Yes.
Of reason in the window of the fucking need to disassociate ourselves with this no killer instinct motherfucker number 4. Okay? You've got Dak Prescott in I don't know what they're doing in Dallas, but God bless them, 30-0 blowout at the time against Denver. At home. At home.
Yes.
They put Dak Prescott in with 6 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter. You know what Dak Prescott does? Not only does he not get hurt again, because he's coming off an injury from last year, and another injury earlier this season that had him out.
Yeah, he was bad for the past
up until 6 minutes into yesterday's game, and he runs for a touchdown.
You know?
Herbert for San Diego. Same situation in Philly. 2-year guy for a team that's been hapless for years, but are making that transition. He understands it. He knows the moment that he's in. Runs for a touchdown against the Eagles to give them the lead. Okay, in a critical game there, in a great game that went back and forth. Carr slides at the 2-yard line. Where all he had to do was veer left and go. He's not going for the score. He's not going for the kill. When he has an opportunity, and that's all I'm saying, man. You're not going to win in late January if you can't beat the Giants in fucking November.
Yep.
With a quarterback like that. Period. Like him, nice guy. God bless y'all. Stands by his teammates. Beautiful. But man, stop. That right there yesterday, that's why we're not going to win a Super Bowl with him as a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Because that's what you have to be able to do in the AFC divisional game. That's what you have to be willing to do in the AFC championship game. Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
If anybody has a reason to lay it down, this guy.
Been that guy, yeah.
In a blowout?
Yeah.
You know, the mentality, man.
Right.
You know, fuck that, man. You know?
It's not me.
Sick of this shit. It's the mentality, man.
My football.
You know?
I like when you hold it up for me. Thank you.
And that's the thing, you know, I can't take it. I really can't. You
gotta win that game,
man.
man.
People are gonna see what I'm seeing.
Got to win that game.
Will. But you know, the instinct, the smarts, you know, the awareness when you're in the pocket, the touch that you need.
Knowing the situation, yes.
You know who you're going to go to, step into it, and do.
But even before that, you've got a chance to go 2 games up in your division. Okay, and now we fucked around and Kansas City is back in it. They got to play up.
All the rest of the AFC went this way and we went this way.
Right.
But at the wrong time because now you have Kansas City coming in.
Right.
And this is also the part of the season. Fuck all of you motherfuckers out there that have a problem with
November, December.
This is when the Zebras. This is when the Zebras start getting more involved, and this is when the NFL starts strategically seeing who they want to make it to the playoffs. For the money and the postseason money. This is that time of year. Week 10, week 11. All right, we start separating the beef from the chaff, or the chaff from the beef, or the heels from the heel, or I don't know. But anyway, you guys get what the fuck I'm talking about. You start separating the tricks from their money.
I've been the Line Carr supporter back or on the show now.
There's a lot of you. There's a lot of you. You're a leader, though.
Well, yeah. No, I profess it. Most people will, I never liked him ever. But I've always been a Carr supporter. I think he does a lot of great things. He's gotten to this point. But as much as I've supported him, and I still support him, and I think that he's going to be better as the games go by and take more chances because he's going to have no choice, right? He's going to have to take every chance from this point on anyways. Like you say, he's got to beat all the best teams in the NFL. But this is a make-or-break year, especially now since the series of events of where Chucky was forced to resign, and now people are questioning Mike Mayock with his good picks and his bad picks and all the things that have happened along the way, and the fact that we don't know what's going to happen next year politically, with not around the world as far as politics, but the politics within the NFL and with the Raiders. So a lot of things can happen this year. This is a make-or-break year for Carr. If it doesn't happen, I think a lot of heads are going to roll at the end of the season. But speaking of heads rolling, and this was a head that I've called to roll, I will throw this on the list of RaiderFan Radio calls it.
Right? Stonerdude.
The year 2020 draft when we picked Damon Arnett as our corner. Was it the first round? Or
John Gruden
second,
picked David Arnett.
Second, no, Mike Mayock.
Gruden had plenty
Mike
to say.
Mayock picked David Arnett. and he came out, did a press conference today, and he owns everything. All these people own it. They like to use the word "I owned it." Well, you can only own it so many times. You know, so point being, I love Mike Mayock. I'm not saying I want him gone because I like Mike Mayock, and I think he can only get better with the Raiders if Mark Davis sticks with them at this point. But point being, he picked Damon Arnett, and I didn't want Damon Arnett. I heard that name, I'm like, who's Damon Arnett? Like everybody else. I wanted Kenneth Murray. He was sitting right there, the linebacker that played for Gus Bradley last year. He's a San Diego Charger. Yeah. San Diego Charger of Los Angeles. And he was a proven guy, captain on the team, lots of great pedigree. We needed a linebacker just like we needed a corner. Right. But Mike Mayock picked David Arnett. And today, it's official. David Arnett is no longer a Raider. And will never be a Raider.
Yeah.
Now, what he did to get to this point doesn't even have nothing to do with the fact that he can't play. Or he's not a great football player.
Well, yeah, you can't be pulling guns on people in Las Vegas, Nevada, okay? Yeah. And threatening people with guns.
On people.
Again, Stone used the word, great the other day when we were talking about a situation. Ungrateful. And Stone, I wanted you to follow up on that because in this vein of what we're talking about with the fallout from John Gruden, who is now said to be considering suing the National Football League.
I hope he does.
I hope he does too. For what they did, and he's got a great case for tampering and conspiracy because obviously somebody, put together this.
Would you say John Gruden is now in our shoes?
Yeah, in a way he is. And I hope he recognizes that. But
maybe he'll be on our show.
More importantly, that'd be a great get. More importantly, though, what you have for you that I've noticed in the last 2 weeks, and first time I've really ever seen you kind of like this with all the fallout. Like we said, we got some other stuff to talk about later. But just wanted you to punctuate. You sent me a text last week, and you just kind of encapsulated what had happened between Gruden, this recent stuff that we're talking about, Arnett now, that we're going to talk about
our personal texts over the weekend as we watch football and communicate with each other as the games go by.
Because you've been really pissed off.
Do you have the text?
Yeah, I do. It'll pop up here.
All right. You want me to read it?
Or you just go up, you can just summarize it, but I thought it was just a perfect summarizing of just like what has happened as far as just like the NFL's attack on us.
Wait, how does this start? I'll read it. Yeah, there's some serious behind the scenes
going on these days.
No, that wasn't it.
No? Oh, here we go. Was this on Mark Davis?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, this is what I wrote to Raider Rob. Sad, pathetic, predictable. Is that the one?
Yeah, it's one of them.
Sad, pathetic, predictable. The other NFL owners are laughing at him like we are. Only they plan on destroying him like they did Gruden. I think they took Gruden out first because he was more formidable and would have been more outspoken defending the Raiders. Mark is weak and easy. This is what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. He's been playing nice to them to earn their trust and respect.
And it's backfired.
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
This is how I felt to reply to that and feel it a little more after I read my own words that I forgot that I even wrote. Like just like John Gruden probably forgot a lot about those emails that he wrote 10 years ago. But the point being is that as I'm watching it all happen, we've been talking about this. And now this is bringing me back to the beginning of the show. We talked about ALDAVIS. We saw what was happening when ALDAVIS was dying.
Right.
We watched ALDAVIS die. We watched him live his last 10 years up close and personal. And we also watched him die. And we predicted. What
would happen?
We felt and saw the world without ALDAVIS as it was happening.
Yep.
And it was happening right before our eyes. My words back then were when it came to ALDAVIS and the NFL and all those other money people that are trying to buy a new stadium and all that. To me, they're the vultures, and they were circling. The vultures were circling ALDAVIS in his last years. And we were wondering what would be the future of ALDAVIS, or the Raiders. I at the time didn't think it would be Mark Davis, or I knew he would lawfully own the Raiders, but I didn't think he would pick up the mantle and do what his dad did.
Of course.
As a life career.
Right.
Running the Raiders.
Still not. Yeah.
So, now, I'm not here necessarily because I like beating up on Mark Davis, because I actually like Mark Davis a lot. I've always said this about Mark Davis. He was the Tommy boy of the NFL.
Right.
He was the kid partying with the Raiders.
Yeah.
While Al Davis was running the Raiders.
Yeah, he's trust fund Timmy.
Right?
Yeah.
He was partying, having a great time all those years.
That guy's
Rock
a little
star.
dog.
And you can
That
tell he's
guy's a
still,
little
even though I'm sure he's
dog.
older and got a little bit out of his
That
system,
guy
he still likes to hang out.
dog.
He still likes to be out there. He
That
bought
guy
the Aces.
Him and his
He
back
goes to the
dog.
games. He's
Take it
now
out to
pretty
get
much
him
even a
straight.
physical celebrity
What
on
the
talk
hell?
shows, because now that the Raiders are getting all this new attention in Vegas, Mark Davis, and I said this, he would be the Colonel Sanders. He would be the face and the image on the front of the box.
But really, the black lady's in the kitchen.
Someone else
Cooking
is
that
running
chicken
it. Yeah.
It's
So,
her recipe.
I love Mark Davis, actually. He's been
That's
nice to us in the past personally. And but at the same time, like a lot of listeners and viewers out there, and those are going to be in the comments here, we're going to read in a little bit, but they feel the same way. They see the writing on the wall. It's even being posted by other media now that Mark Davis is now concerned about the NFL trying to get rid of him. And like I said, when it came
He should be.
and when it comes to John Gruden,
that.
John Gruden was the
Then told you
very last, other than Mark Davis, John Gruden was the last connection from football and the NFL and the history of it to Al Davis.
No, he's not. We are.
No,
I am.
I meant as far as being he was in the building. He was working.
I've been in the building too.
I'm just saying, Mark
Man,
hired
you're
him
not
to be
going
the
to
coach.
you're not going to lowball the Raider Nation. There's many of us, including yourself, who are still the connection to the Al Davis
Well, I
philosophy of the
understood,
Raiders.
but you're missing
and
my
we
point.
have influence. No, go ahead with your point. No,
My
I'm
point-
not trying to miss it. I'm just
But I
not.
understand. You're right. We are the connection, and that's why we're doing the show, and that's why we got so many viewers, and that's why we love doing it, because it's our life. But anyways, with Mark Davis, though, I don't see him defending the Raiders like John Gruden has in the past.
Yeah.
John
if we
Gruden.
put you in the front office, you would, and that's what the fuck I mean. I know what I mean.
But
okay,
now-
there's a lot of us that represent it better than he does, who in a perfect world are the ones that should be in charge.
Understood.
That's what the fuck I mean. I know what I mean.
Understood.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Understood. But when it
I'm
comes
pissed off at this shit.
when it comes to John Gruden, though, the NFL specifically just put a hit on him and took him out because he was that guy,
Right.
the one guy.
He was, but they, like I said,
Mark Davis is now on an island
I
by
understand
himself.
that. He was always on the island by himself.
Exactly.
But that's why he hired John Gruden, 10-year
John Gruden-
contract. He
he
figured
hired-
that was going to be taken care of for a while.
He hired John Gruden because he didn't know any better, and probably as a slap in the face to his dad, because his dad got rid of him for a reason. You brought Gruden back in 2018. All those years that he was gone, he comes back. He's what do you mean defender of the Raiders? Honestly, he was doing his job as head coach, but in terms of defending the Raider way, none of the coaches in the last 20 years have done that effectively, in my opinion. Now, John's gone. He made the comments.
Yeah, because the Chucky thing
was a hit on him.
The Chucky
It
thing
hit
was a
on our
new creation
organization.
that we, the fans, created.
Right.
So that was a new thing, that Chucky thing.
When he
and
started doing that Dink and Dunk shit and that on third
that
and
West
one,
Coast
and,
bullshit,
man,
that's dead.
That's not Raider football.
But that's semantics right now. But I'm back to what Stone's saying. I totally
Back to
get where
what
you're
he's
coming
saying.
from. Yeah, no, I get what he's saying. It's right.
Mark Davis is now, it's up to him to defend the Raiders.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've been bringing up Al Davis. He hasn't done that.
No, he can't.
He
won't.
hasn't. And I don't think it's even in him.
Right.
I think he's afraid
Well,
to
he's
say
admitted that.
I think he's afraid to
He's
say all the
admitted
wrong
that.
things.
Yes.
I think he got pressured into the vaccines and all that stuff to get into the stadium.
Right.
Then it's not about it. Then before you get to saying the wrong things, you got to look at, no offense, Mark, but being punked before that in
Right.
your own thinking.
Right.
The doubt you have. And that doubt, just like fear that dogs can smell. Like
Right.
you just said, these
Especially
shark-ass
these
motherfuckers can smell it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
they'll lean
Yeah.
into the NFL and be like, Roger, this guy out in
We
Vegas.
got him. We got the Raiders. Right.
They just took Gruden out.
Can we get somebody else in there to make more money?
They
Because they want revenue. Because When you're seeing 20,000 Bear fans come to Las Vegas, I'm sure the Chicago Bears would like a lot more of that cut.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Y'all ain't understanding how this shit is run.
That's right.
Ever heard of the mob?
That's right.
All right? That's how the NFL is run, along with an undertone of government.
NFL mafia.
You know, stop with the bullshit. They want their piece of that Vegas money too, and he's not generating, you know, that on his own outside of what's already here, and that's what ALDAVIS was able to do. That's what Jerry Jones is able to do.
Right.
You know, that's what Joe Robbie was able to do for years down in Miami and different Bud Adams in Houston. You know, you've got to be able to have that existential income and revenue. And stop fucking around here with this jolly happy fan shit. This is a business, okay?
That's right.
And Mark Davis right now ain't too good for business because he got bailed out by the NFL to get here.
And,
you know,
what you were saying,
so they want a bigger return. You know,
what you were saying, Stone, about the smell, and Rob, about the smelling of fear. You know, when it comes to this whole situation, look at what they've done. They did take out Chucky, right? Because that's part of the attack.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. Then they have us be the ones that have the first, you know, openly gay player. So that's in response to what Chucky was saying in his emails and what the NFL executives were also saying. So they used that against him, and they made sure that we had that player, you know, and then just it's all just like a breakdown. The vaccine, this is like an attack on the Raider Nation. They don't want us in that stadium. They don't want to hear what we have to say. And
it's coming this weekend now with Kansas City coming. You done let Kansas City stay in the game, didn't take the advantage of getting the 2-game lead on them.
Right.
And now they're coming in, and you can best Mr. Zebra is rooting for red this motherfucking weekend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got that coming. You still got the business on the field.
Right.
And so the NFL is already pissed at the Raiders, so that shit annually is going to happen, and here it comes.
So
trust me.
Yeah.
You got to play 2 motherfuckers this next weekend.
Yeah.
Okay? The refs and the Chiefs.
That's
you know, so, you know, the bottom line is, you know, I just appreciated how, like I said, that's it for me. The way Stone encapsulated in that text, that's what it is, man. And it's basically, what are you going to do about it?
Well, what is the Raider Nation saying about this? Because we've talked about our opinions. And
RaiderFanRadio@gmail.
Yep. Yeah, but those people that have commented at RaiderFan Radio YouTube and have also sent their, like Gons, he's like, I'm not commenting anymore because they keep editing my stuff. They're taking it off. But I know that there were a lot of people that saw what happened to our team and saw that despite what Mark Davis said, we are under attack by the NFL.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from the Raider Nation right now. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
Well, I wanted to basically just kind of move on to the segment where we talked about someone I think is probably one of the most controversial individuals right now in the country, not in the country, maybe even the world. And this is an individual you've been talking about all summer long to replace Derek Carr. One of your first original big moves to get a real big-time quarterback was how you were going to get Aaron Rodgers.
Also name checked by Saturday Night Live in the skit this Saturday too.
Into
Rodgers to the Raiders.
You campaigned for Aaron Rodgers literally.
I'm still campaigning
up to the draft.
I'm like Trump. My campaign ain't over.
Now, okay,
that's his plan.
Which is even more so to the point is that now that Aaron Rodgers is kind of big in the news right now, and they're talking about how the big thing with the media is they're calling him a liar and a scoundrel and all these things. All right. Again, like
what media?
Like the narrative, like the narrative they created for Chucky. Racist, misogynist, homophobic. Like, in other words, they have it all written out on the screen right there for you, ready to go. Well, that's the new thing about Aaron Rodgers. Well, as far as I am concerned, thank you, Aaron Rodgers. Thank you, Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
I call you, me personally, Stonerdude. All right. To me, you are the unvaxxed heroes.
All right.
And that's what you are to me.
Right on.
Because my concern and worry since the vaccine mandates have begun was that a lot of folks or individuals with money, power, and influence and a voice to be heard will all completely give in and bow down and just do it. But there are some individuals, Aaron Rodgers, one of them right now. Yes. I think he's taking a lot of shitty, fucked up heat right now at this position.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw, too. Lay off of Aaron Rodgers.
And I just want to thank Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving or anybody out there that at least if you're not going to do this, I understand why you lie or they say you're lying. You didn't tell them the full truth. You played with them. They don't like to be played with.
No, he was immunized in a holistic herbal
Yeah.
sense of medicine, which is a recognized medicine. And it's not recognized by mainstream medicine because we know they're
He's
tying
literal, but he's sly.
with big pharma.
Smart.
So he didn't lie. He's from Cal. He's educated.
Roll
He
on
knows how to
words.
use the big words and sleight of hand and language too. Just like all you supposed smart media motherfuckers. With Stephen A. Smith, you ain't a smart motherfucker. So you need to shut your ass up. Along with some of you other ex-football players up there talking that bullshit. Okay, because you want to give yourself to the system as an experimental human being, that's on you.
Yeah.
Okay, the main question I don't see anybody asking is, why are you so concerned about people that may not be vaccinated if you're vaccinated? One of the things that Mr. Rodgers pointed out. And y'all don't seem to want to address that.
Yeah.
You like to leapfrog to the talking points that still suggest that he's some type of enemy of the state or some shit, when he's not. Okay? He's looking out and explaining, which he shouldn't have to. Attorney-client privilege, doctor-patient privilege. What happened to that in this country?
Yeah, HIPAA.
Okay, so that's the bottom line. Okay, he's allergic to ingredients in it, which we know many Americans are.
Yeah.
Okay, and some of you advocating are.
Like, freeze that.
All right, but also he explained very diligently and succinctly about alternative medicine. And so, without getting ourselves blocked or into a lot of controversy here, there is alternative medicine. And alternative medicine
for COVID.
Alternative medicine is certified.
Right.
Alternative medicine is recognized by the American Medical Association. All right, so let's stop.
They don't want to hear that because it's not part of their narrative.
Well, they're saying that they're
When you see
narrow-minded.
When you see Nature's
narrative,
made, when you see Nature's made on those commercials and Nature's this and Nature's that, those are certified herbal supplements. Those are certified holistic and herbal medicines. And they're right there telling you can get it at CVS. So if I find a combination of medicine like that wards off COVID and the super flu, I'm the bad guy?
Yes.
The NFL, the media doesn't like to have their narrative and protocols questioned or played with.
And the people that are questioning unvaxxed needs to ask, what's that about?
Right.
They ain't asking. We're the only one asking, it seems like.
There's a lot of people asking, and they just don't get heard. And there were a lot of protesters for Kyrie at the Barclays Center when they didn't allow him to play. Now, they tried to say that they were insurrectionists and like the people on January 6th.
Well, if you're protesting, you're an insurrectionist.
It was 100 people.
Unless you're looting and setting shit on fire.
Right. Tons of people with signs saying, look, let Kyrie play. You know, down with your mandates, and we're not complying. And, you know, that's America's got to be America. Start standing up, being unified. This is unacceptable. And we look forward to one day winning against you bugs. Like I said, the fight is not over.
Yeah, well, you know, Aaron Rodgers sticking there. Yes, I'd love him to play for the silver and black. And if he ends up in fucking Denver, I know it's more of a setup than it's ever been. Okay, because you were calling for that shit while we were calling for him coming to the Raiders. And y'all know it and you can't deny it, and we've got proof. Anyway, YouTube, we're sorry if we offended you with our commentary about the vaccinations and all that shit. Carry on. We love you.
I'm sorry. It's not just the NFL. I forgot to mention. Well, I know you were getting ready to close it out. But everybody, there's Brandon Goodwin. Please Google Brandon Goodwin, who used to play for the Atlanta Hawks.
Used to
because...
Is that where that saying's coming from now, from the right wing saying, go Brandon?
No,
I don't
let's
know.
go Brandon. Oh, where'd it come from? I think it came from a race car driver. Let's go Brandon. Is that what you're talking about? Where did it come from? The origin?
Oh, okay. This is not the same Brandon.
No, this is the Brandon right here.
My bad.
He's an NBA player that used to play for Atlanta that's no longer playing. The NBA told him to keep quiet about it because he said, I got sick and I never quite recovered. I was always having back pain
from what?
after having the shot. I was just super tired in the games. I was so tired. I felt like I couldn't run up and down the court. My back was hurting, and I'm like, I need to go to the doctor. And I found out I have blood clots. That was all within a
you Babylon.
all within a span of a month, everybody. So he's not playing because of the shot. Because of the blood shot.
Well,
all right.
There you go. One more reason, at least. Think about it.
You know?
Well, thinking about, what are we going to think about now? I'll tell you right now, Rob. I am obviously not looking forward to the fact that it's hockey season. It's getting deeper and further into it. You know, as well, most of you know, I do suffer from hockeylepsy, where I fall asleep during any course of where hockey talk even occurs. But every once in a while, Raider Rob has a tendency to make sure that it's brought to the forefront at RaiderFanRadio.Vegas.
I just want to remind everybody that there will be the return this year of Flyer Night Rob, but I just wanted to just check in and let everybody know that hockey season is in full effect. Oh, hold on, we got something here. He's advertising. Anyway,
no, he's interrupting.
This is not a pandemic. Hockey is here. All right, it's 120-something year. It's a great sport, valiant sport of great men of great physical stature and great physical expression. It's still violent, but it's still classy, and it's also very, very entertaining, as I've always said. Out here, we have an entertaining team, the Golden Knights, and they have just acquired a superstar. Jack Eichel from the Buffalo Sabres. Eichel had an injury situation and had gotten into a dispute with ownership there. Same ownership that owns the Buffalo Bills. Okay, Eichel wanted a second opinion, speaking of second opinions in medicine, and did get a second opinion about his injury, which conflicted with the Sabres coaches. And so the Sabres medical staff. So Eichel, who is a top-notch scorer in the NHL, one of the promising superstars of the NHL, got into a dispute with the management in Buffalo. Anyway, the Knights have made a trade for him.
All right.
He's going to have the surgery that the Buffalo Sabres would not okay him having, right, exactly, under his contract agreement. And so he is a Golden Knight now. So we look forward to him getting well and being a superstar scorer for the Golden Knights. Like I said, the NHL has started. There's a new team in the NHL. The Seattle Kraken! What's cracking up in Seattle? Trey 206, what's going on? Yes, they're going to end up right now being the new San Diego Chargers of the NHL. Because their outfits, their uniforms are so cute. You know, they look like a Brock's candy. Remember those Brock's candy?
Yeah, the little brown and white.
Teal and all that those type of shit. Anyway, they're playing up at the old Key Arena. Oh, excuse me, they got a new arena that they built up in Seattle for them that they're playing in. And they just debuted, of course, only 11 games into the season. But congratulations to the people of Seattle. I always thought that'd be a perfect place.
For hockey,
because of the weather, because of Puget Sound right there that, you know, sometimes freezes over.
He said this would be a short segment.
Pacific Northwest. Real quick, let me give you the standings because there's a lot of surprises as the season's opened up 11 games in. Carolina and the New York Rangers surprisingly leading the East. You have in the Atlantic Division and the Florida Panthers. Okay, who play Thursday night
Panthers
on Hockey Night at ESPN. They'll be playing the New Jersey Devils. They are 10-0. Playing a great brand of fast hockey, physical hockey. Kind of remind you of the Detroit Red Wings.
Not fast enough
The 1990s. And so anyway, the Florida Panthers 10-0. Edmonton in the Pacific Division is 9-1. And Minnesota Wild are leading at 9-1 too in the NHL standings. Real quick, my two favorite teams.
Not quick enough if you ask me.
The Philadelphia Flyers are in third place at 6-2. So they started out kind of bumpy.
In other words, they suck.
Still have another in third place in a 17 division.
Right.
Okay, and the Golden Knights are in fifth place in the West, 6-6. So
and that could change because this is a long season. This is a long season, so you know they've got plenty of time to bounce back and get out of that fifth position.
I want to say right here real quick, make sure you hit Facebook.com at Akeem T. Henderson, hot off the printer, Raider Man. Your friendly neighborhood Raider fan is introducing a new line of inspirational clothing
he's in the
and apparel. Yes, he's everywhere. Okay, Go through nothing and grow through everything is one of the first line of the inspirational clothing, but he's got others that are going to have slogans and branding that are going to be very inspirational with quotations to inspire your life, man, and just, help promote, having a more happier and positive.
So Raider Man
outlook.
has an apparel company.
Yes, he has an apparel
We can
company.
buy Raider Man clothes.
Yes. You can get Raider Man produced clothes sizes medium through 5 extra large. Facebook.com/Akeem T. Henderson. And you can see the line of clothing. We're going to have a picture come up here in a minute that'll show you what they look like. But he's doing this line of clothing. So support Raider Man. As we've always said, we support the Raider Nation inside the Raider Nation. That's the one thing that makes this fan base so great, not just with us in Oakland back in the day and now here in Las Vegas, but all over the Raider Nation across the country. We support each other. Whenever Raider fans are in business, whether they're artists, musicians, coloring books, doing food like I'm doing, whatever, shirts, apparel, all that. The Raider Nation supports each other, and that's what's great about our fan base. So
you can also
Raider
look
Man
at the
up.
description for that
For the link
to buying Raider Man's apparel.
And you could share, and subscribe to Raider Fan Radio.
Real short, and I mean this is real short. The golden one from Jacksonville, they stole a win against Buffalo. I don't know what's going on with the freaky NFL this fucking
That high
weekend.
score, 6-9.
Oh my God! But Trevor Lawrence
Mind-melting game.
is getting crucified down there behind the line of the Jaguars, and we've got to get him out. And Trevor, I'm thinking about you. I hope you're doing well. Just soak. Take some Epsom salt baths. Get in that ice,
Get
man.
some flour chop. I'll send you some flour
man,
chop.
I'm gonna try to save you. Just
Get him out,
believe
Rob.
in me. I'm gonna pull some strings, puppet strings, rubber bands.
Trevor Raider is still your dream.
Hang in there, Trevor. I know it's tough. I was scared
He
too
is living the Trevor
when I
Raider
saw
dream.
you go down this weekend with your ankle injury. Man, a man with blonde hair like that shouldn't be hurt.
You don't want to end up like Drew Bledsoe. Truth.
Don't you have another topic you need to go to?
Yeah. Yes, we have another topic to go through. This is the last topic of the night, and I think I decided, at least I submitted to Raider Fan Radio, that we discuss it last because it needed some discussion. Definitely some music to go in the background too, because it's a very emotional segment, and that is our first time in the room together since Henry Ruggs on the Las Vegas road here, Rainbow Boulevard, which I am cruising up and down 3 o'clock in the morning every weekend.
Yes, I frequent a lot.
Every weekend. I know that street very, very well, and I know that time very well. Getting out of the clubs myself, in the bars and the rock concerts late at night on a Saturday or whatever night. It doesn't matter in Vegas, obviously. His was Tuesday.
Right.
So anyways, Henry Ruggs, we all know at this point now, it's been reported and talked about worldwide how after an event at Top Golf, a local place where people go to drink and hang out and golf, it was an event. I don't know what the event was, but we do know this, that late that night he got in his car. Was it a Corvette? He has a Corvette.
Stingray.
And I love Corvette Stingrays, man. I'm a big Corvette guy.
I've seen him riding around.
I love Corvettes,
out
man.
in Henderson. I've seen him.
There's one of my favorite cool cars. I could see why any kid would want to go get one of those, But anyways, he made the very bad decision. And I'm before I even go into what he did, I at least want to start off by saying I know exactly what it's like to be a 22, 23-year-old kid drunk off his ass, blacked out behind the wheel, driving. I've been a menace to society myself and lived and thankfully didn't kill anybody. I know what it's like to feel like I might have killed somebody.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up feeling. You remember your whole entire life. But thankfully I haven't. But I know what it's like to get in the car and do all those things that he
I've been in
did.
a few accidents myself, unfortunately.
I think most everybody out there, at least sometime or another in their youth, you feel so invincible. You really do feel like you're invincible. You feel like you're above everything, as it is without the money. And you add the money and being a rock star football player and all those things to the mix. Who knows where his head's at? From all accounts, he's been talked about highly as a good person, a great kid, otherwise up into this occurrence. But so, anyways, she got in his car,
which revealed a lot about his character. You know, Henry Ruggs fucked up. Okay, what's more important here is the loss of Tina Tintor. Okay, the victim, 23 years old, had been out walking her dog Maxie, a resident of Las Vegas, and a young lady who now is not here anymore because of the ignorance and the irresponsibility of a 22-year-old man. You know, one thing I don't like in society right now, because of the apologists that like to make excuses for millennials and Gen X age people, is that they're kids. He's 22 years old. We can play the violins all day on our experiences growing up and what have you. And yes, I'm with you too. I didn't kill anybody either. But Henry Ruggs did.
Yeah, he did.
In representation of the Las Vegas Raiders. And whether he came out a few days later or not, again, another drop ball by Mark Davis initially when it comes to PR. Okay? And that's the most important thing when you're going to juxtapose reality in real life with the business of sports entertainment. Okay? And you're an arbiter or an owner or someone's in a responsible leadership position, particularly of a storied franchise like the Raiders. There's apologies that go out from all of us in the Raider Nation and us three who have lost many key people in our lives as Raider fans and as noted Raider fans about the loss. And some of them in automobile accidents, as I think about skates and Raider skulls right now.
Yes.
Okay. And the loss of Don Ho, a great friend of ours, and many others. You know, we can empathize with your pain. So apologies from Raider fans, and not to be on some, you know, type of, self-serving thing here, but I do apologize that a representative of the Raiders caused such a tragic loss to your family, the Tintor family. You know, because we've had too much, all the way to Thomas Howard, okay, in Oakland on 881 morning, and we woke up to his death in a car accident. We know this. And people inside that organization needs to be more responsible. But explain it to these young people that you're in Las Vegas, Nevada, that you have a great opportunity to be great. You have a great opportunity to make money and to live in a great city in this great environment with so much temptation that you have to have more discipline and not be tempted to fall prey to what you know. There's video on there showing a year ago where his girlfriend is screaming at him to stop doing that. You don't even love her enough. So you damn sure wouldn't have had no fucking feelings with Mick Tintor, because your attitude and behavior after the fact, worried about yourself, cars burning and behind you, you worried about yourself, screaming at cops, you know, and people at the hospital talking about get me the fuck out of here. You know, fuck you, you little selfish motherfucker.
This is the most
ungrateful rich bitch. Okay? The Tintor family, this show is dedicated to Tina Tintor. That is a sad, tragic loss. Okay, I have a daughter. I have children. I know I've come close to it. My son being shot a couple of years ago to almost understand that loss. And that's a sad, terrible loss that I hope to never feel. And I'm sorry you feel it. Okay? And that should not have happened. And please hold Henry Ruggs accountable.
I know that the state of Nevada will definitely do that. And I think Mark Davis, what he should do is he should definitely make an open tribute to that family. And I mean a huge monetary tribute to that family. And he should do it publicly so that the city of Las Vegas can see that the Raiders are not just here to take their money, that they're here to be a part of this community. And they are a part of this community. And you know, we are so sorry for what happened. And it needs to be public, not something behind the scenes. This was horrible. He's going to face up to 46 years because of extra counts, because he kept talking and running his mouth. There's nobody protecting our players. There's nobody like ALDAVIS and the staff that were there before that are looking out and protecting our players. There's things that have happened.
As much as you got pictures in that building of the greats, you need to have pictures of Stacey Toran. You need to have pictures of Thomas Howard. You need to have pictures of the people that we lost tragically to loss in living the life.
Tracy
Leon Bender. Tracy Belitnikov, yes, Stone.
I think that, when you talk about the tragedy.
My boy, number 96, who died in
Darryl Russell. Another tragic car accident.
This to me, with all the tragedies that you just listed in the history, because you know the great history and the bad history of the Raiders, this is the worst
This
to
is
me.
the worst.
They're all bad. They're all horrible. They're all noteworthy. This is the greatest, and I say great in the grand scheme of things, tragedy in the history of the Raiders. I think about what that family must even think every time they drive by that stadium, or see a Raider logo. I mean, this is the worst stand possible in the history of the Raiders, and I don't know what it's going to take to rectify if it's even rectifiable. But I know this, that obviously, first of all, what you just said, Rob, to everybody out there, the apology, that to me I think is at least the ultimate acknowledgement of it, and bringing it to the forefront and giving it emotion.
Well, I know we take our fandom serious.
Yeah, I know, and the emotion is real.
Yeah,
and that's all
we've
real.
had our losses too.
I'm lost in the mindset of a girl being burned alive in her car in front of onlookers, trying to help her, but they couldn't because the fire was too raging.
Right.
And they could just sit and watch it. So it doesn't get worse than that, man. Burning alive is the worst.
Right.
And
the security guard that tried to save her, this was said to the family, we tried, because she was alive. And then the videotape of Ruggs and Rudy, his girlfriend, sitting on the curb, only focused on themselves and the car exploding in the background, burning even further, was just a testament to just how detached.
Well, they were drunk. They were twice their look. I've been. Again, I'm a drunk driver in the past, so I know from experience.
I've been there.
And I know exactly where he was in his head. This isn't excusing, it's just kind of evaluating it. Evaluating it. And, well, because he had a car that could go 156. I never had a car that could go past 80 or 75
Thank God,
But even then, but point being, when it comes to Henry Ruggs and all the things you already said, and I think we can pretty much close it with, that we're going to always remember the name and speak the name of Tina Tintor. I think that's something, if anything, hopefully if we just keep talking about that name and keep bringing her up, that, like you said, every kid now from this point on, and by the way, the people out there in the media that are saying Vegas, it could have happened anywhere, I would disagree in the sense that Vegas is just where people go to do those things. That's why they come to Vegas, to lose their fucking mind. All right?
And he's not the only one driving around our streets, inebriated. That the city just lends itself to that, and that's why Metro and NHB are so much out front of, one, disciplining and making sure they shut that shit down as an example. When you have accidents and incidences like that, he's not the only one. He's just high profile, like Stone said earlier. But, the bottom line is it's still always going to be the culpability and accountability of that person. And these kids have got to be taught inside 1475 when they come and represent the Raiders, also juxtaposition of where you are. And that you have got to take yourself and your life much more serious in this city and anywhere, because it could very well not be you. It could be the other way around, where you're the victim, too. Unfortunately, of something like this here. It's just that the city lends itself for that, and
it's going 24/7.
Yes,
man.
Yes.
It's going full throttle. Lights are on. Everybody's home. Everyone's out there in the streets doing their thing. So yeah, Vegas. When you're young and you come to an NFL team, you come to Vegas, it's gonna be different than everywhere else.
Right.
Even New York and even LA, because it's 24/7.
Yeah.
So, well, that's pretty much my thoughts on the whole thing, as far as really kind of at least acknowledging that we had to talk about Henry Ruggs tonight, because again, I think everybody else out there will always remember and think about that as well. And of course, we're going to always be able to reach out with the family and anybody out there that has to do with Tina Tintor. And at least, like I said, keep her name, so that at least, going back to what you were saying, Steph, we need people within the organization of all these rich kids counseling them and being accountable for them, protecting them.
They need protection.
Handlers, looker-overs, whatever. Check-in people like rock stars got.
Right.
You're coming to Vegas.
You need babysitters, man.
All that money and all that looseness and all that, indestructibility. It's different in Vegas.
And it's commendable that Carr and his teammates are standing by Henry Ruggs, the person. You know, and I got a little emotional there and a little angry because I just laid down the track record that I've witnessed, and I'm a first generation
you gotta
Raider
love
fan,
him. You gotta
and I've
love
seen
him.
it. You know, and I've seen what has happened to a lot of great Raiders on both sides of the coin, either the victim or the person that defended. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I want the best for Ruggs as a person, and I hope that he'll learn from this lesson. And
I pray to God that there's lessons learned from this whole thing.
Yeah.
And that the Raiders are actually helping him get his affairs in order because he is going to serve time, and this isn't the state to really California either. Nowhere drunk driving is not accepted. And so I hope that there's somebody that is stepping in to help him and help his wife and his 1-year-old daughter, because he's going to need something left after he gets out. And hopefully that would be the case, because Tina Tintor, she'll never get that back.
What we're going to get back is we'll see you next show and be back at show number 29. But we will be back
29.
in the immortal words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. We will be back. But until then, artists, musicians, poets, you got some ideas you want to give us here at Raider Fan Radio on YouTube to put as far as part of our programming, you can contact us, emails, photos, images, MP3s, RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com. We'll see you later, Raider.
Stay strong, Tintor family. God bless you.
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and RaiderFan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, ALDAVIS Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.